Hi, this is the Volantex SR48, and this is actually by far my favorite RC boat. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, I think it's a nice size. It's about 48 centimeters long, which to me it's a nice size. It doesn't require much space. You can hold it around. If you have like the next class of boat, which is 65 centimeters, it's a lot bigger boat. It weighs more, you have to have more power. The turns are bigger, so I think this is a great, nice boat. It doesn't go too fast, just fast enough with the brushless motor. If you have like this size and you have a boat with too fast speed or a more not as good designed hull, the boat will start to go like this, and that just looks bad to me. And some boats, they will just dive in the water when they go too fast. They can't handle the speed. So I think the design of this one, the speed, the brushless motor, everything is just right. It's a plastic construction, so it's a very lightweight boat. If you like standing still and you're full throttle, sometimes it goes like this and just runs really nice in the water. It's all plastic. The hull, the rear, the fins, they are plastic. The stabilizers, they are plastic. The rudder is plastic. The prop is plastic. The only steel parts, it's the axle and the prop axle and the steering rod. It's a fairly waterproof design. So on top there's a lid. It's a top part which you can remove, and it's quite stiff to remove. Which is good because on the edge of this one there's like a rubber-like material which makes it almost waterproof. Sometimes when you go underwater it will have a few drops of water inside, but it's not much. So that's great. And there's also, this floats, so if it somehow just comes out of the boat, it floats and you can retrieve it, so that's good. And if we look at the inside then, it's the brushless motor in the center. And on the front we have like a Velcro strap for the battery. And on one side we have the ESC, the speed controller, which is waterproof also. On the other side we have the receiver and the steering servo. And this is also water cooled. So on the bottom there is a inlet, and on the side there's an outlet, and the water goes through the ESC and through the motor, you can say, a part of the motor, and then it exits. Actually, I like this boat so much, so after I bought it and ran it the first few times, I actually got another one. So I have two boats. And why? Well, I bought one for myself, and one for my oldest son. So we are often, when we go to the beach, we are racing. It's a lot of fun. Going over each other and well, just playing around. And when we are at the beach and we grab one boat each, usually there are like a crowd gathering when they see we are holding our boat, and they really enjoy it. They're sitting in a row on the beach and commenting. So I think it's a popular hobby also. And I think a lot of people would like to have just the same model. And someone asked, well, where did you bought that one? So that's great. But this summer I actually had an incident with the boat. I was out running with my son and my boat just stopped. I had to swim to fetch it, and it was resting in the water, and it was actually this boat. I opened up the lid to just check whatever could be wrong. And when I open it, it's stopped. When I open it, just smoke, a lot of smoke. And I looked inside, and the ESC was all blown up. There was a big hole on the side of the ESC, and I looked at the LiPo battery, was all swollen. I tried to turn the motor, it was all stiff. I couldn't really turn it the right way. So somehow I think there's a shortage in the motor. And that influenced the speed controller, so it just ramped the amps and blew out the amp and the battery. Anyway, I thought that boat would just toast it. I would never ever drive that boat again. So I got the third boat. So I now have two boats, and this one which is broken. But then I started thinking, well, it's a hobby grade boat. Maybe I could salvage it. So I investigated. The motor was just busted. When I put juice in it, it had a like smoke coming out of it, so it was just broken. The LiPo was broken, of course. The ECU was broken, but the receiver and the servo and the mechanic part, they worked just fine. Although if you look inside, you see there's like a residue of the incident all over, and it just smells awful. But I had a hobby wing ESC laying around, so I put that one inside. It worked fine. And this one has the advantage of having a better low voltage cutoff circuit. So when this one stops, it goes from full throttle and it stops, and you can, after a few seconds, you can go full throttle again, so you can retrieve the beach. The stock ESC doesn't do that. It only drops the speed a bit and then it stops, and you can't do anything. So, and then you're out of luck if you don't have a boat and the water is cold. Which happened to me once. I have to wait until the boat, came to shore. So that's a part that could have been better constructed. But anyway, if you're careful and you really notice when the boat drops speed and you go to the shore right away, it's no problem. The only maintenance you really have to do with these boats is actually to loosen this collar which inside, which holds the prop axle, remove the axle, clean it and grease it and put it back in. So that's the maintenance part. Other than that, I think it's just a lot of fun. You can just go to the beach and run it. And then you have the remote, which looks like this. It's a plastic remote. Quality is okay. I mean, you cannot expect too much for this price. It's a pistol grip remote, which is nice. Pistol grip for the throttle and steering wheel over here. It's fairly good. It's like a foam feeling to it. There's a steering limit on front, which I don't know why you should ever use, but it's there. There's a steering trim on the side, so you can trim if boat doesn't go straight. There are servo reverse, you can reverse them. Why you should do that, I don't know either. It came, bind to the boat. It just worked fine. So I would do anything. It takes 4 AA batteries and they last a long time. I usually only swap batteries once each season. It's a 2.4 gigahertz system, so it doesn't interfere with anything else. You can run like 2, 3, or 4 or 5 boats at the same time. Integrated antenna. So yeah, it's a good transmitter for sure. So this boat then, I think it's just almost perfect, because it's the right size, it's the right speed, it's easy to use, it's fun to use. I would just go out and just use it.